Hi guys. Well, today I want to share with you a very important, or I would say very fundamental topic pertaining our business, because the title simply is handling of objection. You know how important it is, because if you look at our business, this is a very critical part of it. If you do not handle in the beginning properly, you lose the person for sure. And well, there's many ways how you guys handle or you're taught. All right, so there's no one specific recipe or formula of handling it. You find it in your different markets, it's done differently, totally. But there are these few pointers or skills. How do you handle? And whether you use all these points to handle one objection, I'm not talking about rejection, I'm talking about objection. When people ask you questions, simply mean they want to know more. They're not saying, I don't want to join you, whatever you show me is useless or lousy. Because objection and rejection is two different topic itself. All right, rejection meaning no, finish. Thank you very much, I'm not interested in this. Objection is that there's some doubts. After your presentation, he's not very clear, or in our industry, full of doubts. Our industry is very well, how it's perceived in your country will be different compared to the other country. So I will say this portion of it, it's very critical to do the close. All right, handling objection can come in many methods. Maybe the question they ask you, they read in media, or they saw somebody forward them something, or Google it and you get it. All right, lots of questions come towards them and so forth and so on. Now I want to just share with you that this is what I use when I handle objections. All right, so there's 6 steps of, I call it the skill of handling objections. All right, I learned this throughout my journey, more than many years in the business, and I believe it has worked for me and many people who I have done this training in various markets and all that. One, you see, an objection comes to you. What we do, we go into defense mode, right or not? Straight away, our body language changes and saying, hey, why the guy is attacking me? Remember, objection and rejection, to repeat again, is two different things. Objection is that there's no clarity in what you have shared with him, or he is not clear what you shared with him. So now, skill number 1 is listen first. Listen first to the question that the person has pushed on you or asked you. Because what we do, like I said, we go into a straight away defense mode and say, how can you say that? And your whole body language and the way you portray to him, you scare him. All right, now remember, the person who's sitting opposite you during a presentation, who is this person? This person, what's your objective? You want him to become your business partner. That's the whole objective, right? So that you're going to work with him. So here, how you handle him will decide whether he signs up or not. So listening first, meaning, see, many people have many various questions, but many people don't ask directly the question. They go around. They just wind around and to the actual question. So for example, very common question is this a pyramid? Is this a scam, right or not? Now the guy said, probably he'll say, hey, listen, concept of what you just shared me, this method of business, or you calling yourself as entrepreneur and so forth and so on, I don't get it. All right, because out there, a friend of mine said he joined this kind of business, or you call it network marketing. That's what you shared with me. In various markets, their companies come in and fly by night. All right, so are you sure this is the correct business that I want to join? Are you sure that what you told me is correct? Maybe there is not all facts, or maybe you just want to make money, So I don't know what kind of question you get, but what is simple question is that, let's say, pyramiding. Now, before this question to ask you, he is asking you probably what is pyramiding, but before he can finish the question could be very long, all right? But you interrupted. So what happened now? Go into defense mode. The guy say, hey, why is this guy so harsh? So that he shy away from you, That's the first step, that he will shy away from you. So listen to the whole question, understand what he's trying to say, and then analyze first in yourself before you answer to him. All right? Because the next skill, and there are 6 skills that I'm going to share with you, all are interrelated. All right? So listening first to the whole complete objection or question is very critical. Let him say everything, take a breath, then you answer. Because probably the first few words that he asks you is not the question. The question is very long. Like I said, they don't know how to put it across. So that's one. Listening first is very, very important. Number 2 is ask question. Meaning the guy is objecting you, right? Not he's asking a lot of questions to you. Instead of you just answering, you also ask. Like I said, very famous. Oh, this is a pyramid. Now, how would I put it? Very simple. What do you mean by pyramid? Sorry, I don't get you. What is pyramiding? Or what is pyramid? You'll be surprised, many people don't even know what it is. The answer is, because they heard from here or there, or a colleague at work say, hey, this pyramid scheme and all that. So ask them question, you'll be surprised. The guy will be fumbling and say, what do you mean? Yeah, I mean, you said, is this a pyramid? So my question to you is, please elaborate more. What do you mean by pyramid? The pyramids I know is the pyramids in Egypt. So by the time he asks you the question again, I'm telling you many answers. He will be answering himself. So asking question is also a very, very important point in handling of objection. Now, number 3, this is very important. Basically, number 3 is do not exaggerate. See, what happened that to look impressive or to defend ourselves, we exaggerate about the company more. Now listen, guys, you know what happened? The saying, if you say lie once, you have to say lie over. Throughout your whole presentation, you have to lie. Now the worst thing if he signs up. Now when he signs up because you lied, then how are you going to cover? Because he's going to attend the systems, he's going to go on training, he will come for VCon and all that, then he know. I mean, what kind of leader this guy is. So what I mean by do not exaggerate, now QNet has enough credentials. They have made their names everywhere in the world today. We have a lot of credibilities and so forth and so on. So what the plan is, what the business model is, explain that. Do not add on unnecessary information which you created it, because they will find out. And today, you know, you guys also experience this, because that's what I experienced. While you're just talking about QNet, the business model, the guy on the other hand, on his phone already now, went into Google. While you're talking, he's already Googling on QNet. So let's not exaggerate unnecessarily. All right? Number 4, be sincere. Now this is related. Be sincere. Very, very important. Like I said, going back to that, the guy is Googling you now, Googling the company, you know what I mean or not? So I per se, you know, I want to sleep well at night, meaning I'm being truthful, correct? Now, when I'm truthful throughout the day, during my presentation or my trainings, I have peaceful nights, because I do not think, oh, tomorrow the guy find out and how I'm going to face him. I lose face, I lose my team, I lose credibility, personal credibility. So what's the good news? Good news is they've been around, the company is solid, the company been around, and it's going to be next 19 years, 20, 30 years, 40 years. So you don't have to lie to find your way out, to answer a question. All right, another point of be sincere is very, very important that I've learned in my life as well. For example, if you lied to the guy, all right, most probably he don't know this is a lie, right? You only know. And he said, okay, I'll get back to you, because he's not going to be closed straight away. He said, I need to take a week to think. Now, all this information, he might meet somebody that who is also have gone, is in QNet, or he talked to you see, people, what they do, you know, after the whole presentation they hear from you, you always tell them, please do not talk to anybody about this business plan or QNet. You only talk to me, and if you have somebody that you want me to explain, or you want to explain, plus you don't explain, I will explain for it, that person. But what will happen? The guy is going to go and explain. He is going to go and talk to someone, and he will give all the facts that because you see, what people repeat to others is from the questions they ask you, not your presentation. Your presentation, only certain percentage they absorb, because it can be a lengthy presentation, guys. People could have heard you for 1 hour, your whole presentation, and they listen. You and I know how many percent is only absorbed. So, but main thing is absorbed is because the question he asked you and you answered, he remember more. And that's where be sincere, it's very, very important here. Okay, and this next point number 5, identify with them. What do I mean by that? Identify with them. Objection came, like for example, when you signed up in the first time, many years back, or whenever you signed up, did you agree straight away? No, right? There were some thoughts in your mind, all right? And you had questions also to the person who presented you. You could be a hot zone, you know, blindly signed up. There are people who are in hot zone, and he said, okay, you are doing this business, I'm going to do. But down the road, when you put him into trainings, questions still come back. So whatever said and done, handling objection starts whether he signed up, or after 2 weeks or 3 weeks he signed up, he will have question, because he will have question from his prospects. So what I'm saying is, identifying with them, it's a very, very important, because you see, that guy there is sitting there and you are here. The whole idea is for him to come and be with you, right or not? Joint venture, be business partners, and then we go towards developing the network. So what I mean, identifying with them is feel, felt, found. I'm sure you guys heard this before from your uplines, right or not? Feel, felt, found. So now, they all hear a lot of negativities, and if we go and answer the question like in my beginning, listening first. If you don't listen first, that means you're going harsh back to the prospect, which is wrong. Identifying with them, it's very critical. Why? Because what you're trying to say is you putting your arm around his shoulder and saying, hey, listen, I want to make you my partner, right or not? You know what you heard? I also heard that before. All right? So, feel, felt, found is that I know how you feel, because why? I felt that way as well. But you know what I found out? So, regular question is about credibility of the company. You know, I heard that there is a case happening in country ABC. Is that correct? Or people say this is a get quick rich scheme. It will not last. Only people who in the beginning who join will benefit the most. After that, you do not benefit anymore. So all this kind of objection happens. So what you do is, I know how you feel, because that's how I felt. But you know what, bro? This is what I found out. So now that guy also feels very comfortable. You know why? Because he say, hey, okay. This guy who's explaining me this business also went through that, or he also had that thought process. So now he's feeling very, very comfortable with you. All right. The next is learn from leaders. Point number 6 is learning from your leaders. This is critical here, guys. Don't be a smart Alex and you know everything. In this journey of network marketing, or this journey you will go through, or you are already going through for 6 months, a year, or some people 5 years, or so forth and so on, learning never stops. And don't forget, your working upline who's very active, he's also learning, but he's been around, so he's like 5, 10, 20 steps ahead of you. So you go back to him and say, hey, listen, I got this question from my prospect. I handled it this way at the moment, but I told him I'll get back to you. How would you handle it? So you'll be surprised, your working upline, all right, would have got this question 200 times. So he or she will be the best person to guide you on how do you handle this. So I will say that learning from leaders or communicating with your leader, it's very, very important. And it goes back to the 8 basic building block. Block number 7 is about counsel with your upline, right? Not counsel with your leader. So this is link. All right, learn from your leader. Step number 6 in handling objection. And going back to the whole overall topic of handling objection, it's very simple. It's a question that you have to answer professionally, very calm, very focused, and you must have clarity. Okay, but the most important is that confidence, because that guy, some guys just ask you questions sake of asking to see how confident you are, because from there they will know how depth or how interested you are in building this business. Because many times some people say, you know, okay, let me bring one guy left and one guy on the right, and that's it. These 2 guys flourish, I'm going to make a lot of money, and that's my journey in it. And people today can smell whether you are here for the long term or the short term. So knowledge is very, very important. Understanding the company in and out is very important. To know the industry is very critical for you to know, because if you don't know, the guy who's going to join you will never join you. And you know, when I said be sincere and don't exaggerate, and I mean it, because we have this tendency, you know, you don't want to lose face. You know, this ego hits in and say, how can I? He asked me a question, I have to answer, and then you just add on your own spices and answer the question. Always remember, if a question you don't know how to answer, it's not end of the world. Say, it's a very good question. Give me 24 hours, I will get back to you. That's where you go back to your upline on the step number 6 here, or the 6th point of skill of handling objection, and you go back and ask. I tell you, that guy is going to respect you more. And even though he never joined, but in that 24 hours, guys, please go and reply the question he asked, because that guy is going to respect you and say, hey, this is a good guy to follow, you know, because he talks, what he says, he does. He walks the talk, right or not? And most probably, you know what can happen? The guy never joined, but you did a proper closing. Answer yes or no is secondary now here. What happened? Maybe a month down the road, you met another prospect, or your downline brought someone for you to close. Let's see, okay? Say you handle him, just normal. Now this guy went back to office and said, you know, hey, I came across this business, very interesting, you know, looks impressive, but I don't know, have you heard of this company? He said, what company is that? It's called QNet. I say, really? Yeah. A month ago, I also heard from this guy, you know, so he mentioned your name. He said, yeah, this is the same guy. And that guy who never joined you, but because you did a follow through, you answered all the questions and you got back to him and said, no, if you're really interested, yeah, that's the right guy, because how he handled me was very good. So the track you leave behind, you never know where it reaches. So this part of it is very, very critical. So I always believe that do this business from your heart. Don't have to create unnecessary stories, because QNet have enough of stories. All right, QNet is a very reputable company. That means they're here to stay. They're here solid. They have what I call their pillars, or the base is really strong. So remember guys, handling objection is very, very critical in a closing or getting him into your team. But the 6 points to repeat: first, listen first to the question first, let him complete the question. Number 2, you ask questions, you ask back questions. Number 3, don't exaggerate, and then be sincere. Number 4. Number 5, identify with them. And number 6, learn from leaders. So this is the formula I've been using, and to be very frank, it's been very good. And so you will find your own way, but just remember these 6 points and you will find your own examples and answers to it. So guys, happy networking, all the best. Abhi.